Jeffrey Nkrumah presents. Welcome to the Life of Coach audio experience.
Good. So the Irish people that taught you were not religious, but they inherited they came from schools where they themselves had been.
Taught
by religious.
Yeah, there were
monks and nuns.
There were religious. We did have some monks in our school.
Oh, okay.
We actually had he died recently. I forgot his name now. Brother.
So the school already had a religious tradition.
Yes. It was a very strong link, and they used to go to Ireland and recruit all the teachers. But by the time I got there in the 90s, late 90s, there was no boys' school and there's no girls' school next door. But the all girls' school, I think still today now still have like nuns in there. But the all boys' school, I don't think so. I think he was the last one. Mm-hmm. But yeah, he was a very learned man. He had lived in different parts of Africa, spoke about 60 languages. And he still wore his rope, the brown rope, and
yes.
And he never actually got paid for his job because he's and which then I thought was weird. But now when I'm older, I understand because you're doing it because you want to, not because you're trying to make financial gain from it. But yeah, basically.
The religious in Ireland were teaching and nursing and for almost 150 years before the state started coming in on the idea of formal teaching. They'd always been involved in education. I mean, going way back for centuries. Yeah. Because it was very often the monks and the nuns who were the only people able to read or write in Ireland. Or were able to write books or manuscripts. Yeah. And were able to had time to research in science areas, in agriculture. Yeah. In astrology and all this kind of thing. They're the only people who had time in their hands to look into such knowledge, because most of the farmers were just peasants, day-to-day labourers, and it wasn't until we'd say the big move on education in Ireland came in the late 18th century or the very beginning of the 19th century, where more formal education, which had already of course been established in Britain, even universities, but not in Ireland. So the state didn't get involved in the 1920s, 1930s, and in fact education didn't come in until the 1960s in secondary school. Yeah. So it was basically these monks and nuns who got the whole idea of religious education and health services. Of course, then because of that, a lot of the hospitals and schools and such areas, and then in inner city, social work.
And I believe, were there orphanages as well?
Orphanages, hospices for old people, soup kitchens for the city, which was like up in Dublin, probably in London as well, I suppose. Manchester, these big cities, they all had very poor populations, so they played a big role in that for a long, long time. Of course, gradually then, through the years, in the last roughly almost century, the state gradually then began to take up its responsibility to provide these services, which means that the monks and nuns and religious went down further into the very needy cases, and many of them left education and left health because the state was providing it. So people were being trained as nurses and doctors.
When you left, the state had taken over.
Pardon?
When you left Ireland to come in?
Yes, just about. There was still a very heavy religious concentration in many schools, and then many of the schools had built up a very strong religious tradition, and eventually in Ireland Catholic schools were very often associated with discipline and character building and those aspects of what you might call an all-rounded person.
Yeah, an all-rounded education.
So they became associated with that, And then the big challenge then for the religious, as they slowly withdrew, the nuns and priests and monks, as they withdrew from these schools, was to try to select lay people who understood the charism of the school and would continue
who could continue
the
it,
tradition. So that was an important aspect of the handing over process. And very often the people they got to hand over to, particularly in administration, were past products.
Okay, from the old
they understood
old
the system, and they themselves had experienced it.
And
in fact, it's interesting that topic is coming up because about less than 1 month ago, Uhuru Kenyatta, the president of Kenya, and the former president, Mwai Kibaki, are both products of the Irish missionary monks tradition education. Both of them went to, Kibaki went to a school called Mangu, which is north of Nairobi, where he was taught from a young kid. So he experienced Irish teaching, Irish missionary monk teaching. Uhuru went to a school in Nairobi called St. Mary's, which again is Irish and has an Irish connection with Irish religious teaching. And when basically Uhuru is making brave attempts to try to handle this issue of corruption, mismanagement, looting, whatever is going on at the highest level in Kenya. And he's trying all means of what you might say legal means, of course, which are natural. He's appealing to the example of people who are in leadership positions. But I think in his maybe more reflective moments, he has now begun to wonder, is it the foundation that these men got when they were in schools, which many of them are products of schools that had lost religious tradition, foundations, something he himself had got. So he's making a big kind of U-turn. Now, it's in the process at the moment of reinstating the role of religious teaching, character building, concepts of values in life, integrity. So rather than, the legal is there at the top and all that, but I think he's going back to the more basic teaching,
roots,
remembering his own days when he was a student in the missionary schools, what they taught him. So he's now pushing or getting the ministry to look at, can these schools, like St. Patrick's, be again repossessed by the missionaries?
And to go back to the roots.
Go back a bit and give a better foundation to these young men coming out of school. Because at the moment, arguably, I suppose, and maybe religious, we would argue biasly, by saying the character building, the foundation, the values in life,
has been
integrity, honesty, all these characteristics which were very closely associated with Catholic founded schools are dwindling. And
are being lost.
On top of that, out of the top 100 schools, we'll say, in Kenya, 80 of them are Catholic traditional schools. So
there is a link in academic performance and behavior and the all-round building. I mean, that's why I went to a Catholic school, sixth form, and even I was trying to go to a Catholic university because I had that all the way through and I realized the value of it.
So he's challenging the ministry at the moment, particularly the Minister of Education, to look at, can we reintroduce, look at the possibilities of reintroducing this whole concept of Catholic education into our schools. Maybe that's his feeling, maybe that's where he should be starting. Damage is done, maybe
from the ground up. So trying to rebuild the foundations, so then we can then put a new roof on top.
So that's being researched. In fact, our Bishop of Eldoret, the Catholic Bishop, called me last week to go in. He wanted to chat about St. Patrick's, how it's going, what's going on there and all that. And we chatted about what the ministry is looking at now, and how do we go about this? Is there a way of doing it?
So is Kenya predominantly a Catholic country, or is it?
I'd say about no, not predominantly. I'd say about 1/3.
1/3, okay.
About 30-35% are Catholic. I'd say about 30% would be various Protestant denominations.
Okay.
Many denominations, but mainly Anglican, which is and the one called AIC, African Inland Church, and Methodist.
Methodist, yeah.
So there would be a sizable number of those as well. And then Muslim.
Muslim, okay.
I'd say about 15%.
60% are Muslim. 15.
Oh yeah, 65 to 70% would be Christian.
Christian, yeah.
Would be various Christians.
So it's majority
35% of those
Christians.
Okay. Muslim would be about 15. And then you have various other descriptions of denominations in between, maybe another 10 or 15%.
Oh.
But all parents generally, with few exceptions, want their kids to go to Catholic schools.
Catholic schools, yeah. So it's mostly a Christian country.
Oh, yes.
It's safe to say that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mostly a Christian country. It's mainly to value Christian values. Of course, they've taken a knocking in recent times with more secularization, materialism, which have knocked a bit the Christian values, and I suppose as well the fact that maybe there are not enough religious missionaries anymore to man these positions. You see, Kenya is considered a fairly well, by African standards, a fairly well developed country, with the result that the ministry some years ago, 20 years ago, said, let us, we don't need these missionaries anymore. Now they may rethink their
take
on that. So it's something that I'd say will be looked at, and but it certainly is a very noticeable factor in Kenyan society over the years I've been here. The deterioration of standards of integrity, honesty, values in life. Then again, I suppose Kenya was, in a sense, relatively an isolated country when you go back 20, 30, 40 years ago. But now, there is no isolated country anymore. TV, internet, mobile phones. So how much can you reverse the situation? It's probably debatable. You know.
But it's worth starting from the ground up, because trying to reverse people who have gone maybe 50 above, like teenagers who have left school and who have got set ways, more difficult than coming down to the grassroots and starting from maybe, from when they first start to talk and walk, and then that may be the way to take that through and filter out and reinstall some of that. Because even my school, when I was there, it was still a strongly Catholic based school. You had to be baptized to be able to even get into the school. The head teacher was all about that. And then since he left, the education standard, the GCSE levels has plummeted, because they did not install the Catholic morals anymore. We used to pray 7 times a day, go to church like once a week, the whole school, and all of that has now gone. And when I checked the league tables about 2 months ago, it was one of the worst performing schools in the whole borough. Whereas when I was there, it was one of the best performing schools in the country. So, and the only thing I've seen that's changed is that literally the values that the Catholic teachers and the head broke down, and the discipline that came with it has gone. And now it's like it's a place where you don't want to send your child, and that's happened literally in less than 10 years. It's gone from one of the best in the country to one of the worst in the country, and I was actually quite astonished. So, you know, it's always played my mind, and I wanted to find out more about it. I mean, talking to you now, it's so clear. It's so evident why it's so important.
Yeah, it's a big challenge. I mean, for both society and for the church, of course, the role of the church. Does the church? Some people would argue, of course, the church has no role anymore in education or in health. You know, these are all now taken over by states. These are all state businesses. Fair enough. That can be an argument, but now I think in Kenya, but maybe also in the UK, people are beginning to realise that there is something missing in deep down in the lives of our young people. They're spending a lot of time searching for things. That they're fantastic academically. I mean, they're hot shots, computers, technology, all sorts of skills. But we do have a lot of social symptoms of deterioration, you know, in the life of our young people here, and it's a concern to the more solid thinking people. You know, it's a concern. Where are we going wrong? Where's the problem? And as I said, Uhuru has kind of said, well, let's start at the beginning again. Let's get the foundation right. So other people, of course, would feel we're going great. You know, we're doing well economically. You know, we're progressive. We've all the modern technology in order, but you know, people who think a little bit outside the box say life is a little bit more than that. There's more to life than material goods and materialism. Yeah. And of course, we still have a massive poor Kenyan population under the poverty line, which we tend to ignore. You know, and we don't seem to see that as a big blot on our society. You know, which is there. We tend to turn a blind eye to it very often. So it's a concern, and certainly I mean there are a few brave people standing up in Kenya and saying that.
Yeah.
Not easy to say.
Yeah.
Not easy to criticise the powers that be. But
I mean, I think you guys are doing a fantastic job. I tried to send you a text before I came, but I don't think it went through. But I was just talking about how you came here predominantly just to help, and I don't know how many years you've been here now, but it's like you speak as one of them. You say we, you don't say them. You know, it's become like a way of life. The way that the school has progressed, and you and your team has progressed, and the work you guys have done here is exemplary, and that's something that, like, the ethos that you take, especially with using the sports and the Catholic background as a tool to mentor the kids and stuff, is something that I don't see anywhere else in the world. It's something that, I mean, I forgot to introduce myself. That's my official ID. It's something that I want to actually do.
You're from Ghana originally?
Yes. I'm born in Ghana. Yes.
Are you related to the...
Yes, great grandfather. I mean, obviously way before my time. There is that. I moved to the UK when I was, I think, 4 or 5 years old. And yeah, so I mean, I tried to teach, but then I realized that, you know, I couldn't have that impact. So that's why I decided to set up a company called Inspired by Sports, where it's not a school, but it's similar in that sense, where we're not just trying to make athletes, trying to educate them and school them in a way where they understand the overall. That's not my card, that's my ID.
Oh yes.
Yes, so so you can't keep that one.
I thought you were giving me a nice gift.
No.
I could claim to be Nkrumah.
No. I need that for UK athletics.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just show you so you know who I am.
Yeah.
Officially. So.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I never. In a sense, all the activities you do in life, including education and learning, it's all in the medium of connecting with people to try to give them a better life, make them better people, and trying to find something that they're passionate about. So they open up to you. Yes. In a sense, you can have an input in their life. Because
and that's
I think
why
very often the way we teach, or the academic side of it alone, is
is how do I get a bond and get them to like me and open up and be relaxed. So normally I throw away the rule book and make it more informal. Then they can open up to you. Then you can get to know them, because if you know an athlete deep down, you're more able to help the athlete because you almost feel what they're feeling.
Well, I often look at my role a little bit, even though it might be a bit philosophical. If what I do with somebody and what I mean to somebody can be got from a book or a computer or anything, then I'm not really necessary.
Yes, because it can be found without you.
You can find it elsewhere.
Yeah.
If that's all you mean to the person, I'm using the word mean, not what you can teach them, but if you only mean a source of information to the person, then there are other sources. But you have to mean more than a source.
Because information is almost commoditized. You can find it on the internet, you can Google it, you can go into books.
If the course I do, or the way I coach my athletes, is only following a program, you can Google a program. You can come up, you get a book with programs or something. Then you're replaceable.
Yes.
You know, and I always tell my athletes, and my students, I used to tell them, be careful in life that you can be kind of replaced. In a sense, by a machine, by a computer, and that's what's happening to people in all sorts of jobs. You're being replaced. Because what you do is replaceable. But what can I do that's not replaceable?
The emotional intelligence, the
human connection,
the human connection,
how you relate to them, what you mean to them, you know, your reaction to their passion, to their interests, to their concerns, or even to their needs. How do you react as a human being? How do you react on a human level? Which a book can't, which a computer can't, which you probably can never do. Otherwise you're replaceable. If I'm only giving you a program. That's I can give you a program, but
and that is so hard to explain to people who have only come from that world. I was never really that good academically, so I developed a way to interact with people, to get them to interact back with me, to help me get to where I need to get to. I was never the smartest child, so when I was in school, I made friends with people that were a lot smarter than me, but not because I wanted to use them, because I genuinely wanted to learn off them. But then it's like the way that you relate to them then helps you and then helps them, and then it was like a trade-off. So a lot of time, like I said, I spend time to get to know the athlete before I do anything. A book will just give the information, it doesn't know how to tailor the information. Or a computer, or whatever.
So that's how you make yourself relevant.
Yes.
To society, and relevant to your work, and relevant to the people you relate to, and even relevant as a teacher. Otherwise, you become irrelevant. What are you doing around? You know, as they say. I suppose from a Christian point of view or from a philosophical point of view, they say the two most important things in life, times in life, is the day you were born and the day you realized why you were born.
Yeah. What's your purpose?
What are you doing here?
Why are you here?
Okay, so as you guys heard, the last words from Brother Colm was, what are you doing here? What's your purpose? Hope you guys enjoyed watching this first part of this podcast. Please tune in for the part 2, which actually goes in depth a bit more about training and how he prepares athletes to race abroad and how he watches the races as he doesn't normally travel. Please subscribe to the channel, podcast channel, the Anchor channel, and also the YouTube channel. Thank you. Jeffrey Nkrumah presents To the Life of Coach audio experience.